What's up, y'all? We are back. Thanks for being here. All that good stuff. I want to talk about how Drake just embarrassed himself. This is crazy. Even though I feel like this beef is manufactured, it's still pretty interesting with the accusations that are being thrown around. Drake is trying reverse psychology. He's embarrassed that he has a mole in his camp. He's embarrassed that Kendrick exposed it. So he tried to double back and say, "Oh, we fed you the wrong information on purpose." Boy, there's shit everywhere. There's proofs everywhere. How is it the wrong information when it's all over tabloids and people are going back in the archives of X or Twitter or YouTube or whatever to find it? It's popping up. Is he going to address any of these things like with the woman he had on stage or these relationships? Let's get into his questionable behavior. Let's go.
After being the absolute laughing stock of the rap world for a few days, Drake responded back to Kendrick Lamar's absolute behemoth of a diss in Meet the Grams and the banger of Not Like Us with a new cut titled The Hard Part 6, and well, from the title alone, as Kendrick took over Drake's AM/PM series, Drake coming back and taking over his Hard series was genius. When you look at the entirety of this song, this is about as good as it gets as when you sit down and digest what Drake had to say here. It's clear that for the first time in this beef, one of these titans just absolutely missed the mark. So when it comes to the Hard Part 6, it's not even really a diss track at all and more of a defense track, as after Kendrick made allegations that Drake was hiding a daughter on Meet the Grams and that him and OVO are joining the ranks of people like Dan Schneider and Diddy, people have been running around clowning Drake as they have recited the insane quotables that Kendrick dropped on his last few tracks, and in an effort to make this attack stop, Drake has come with a response where he tries to clear his name of all of these pretty serious allegations and throw everything right back on Kendrick. And while the menacing beat that samples Aretha Franklin and the straight rapping from Drake would make you think that he's about to do just that, when you listen to his lyrical performance here, all he ended up doing is just making himself look way worse than he ever has. Now, the first set of bars on this track are all pretty fine and definitely set up some solid groundwork for Drake to do damage, but when he tries to drop his first massive reveal here, he says that him and his team set Kendrick up, and they tricked him into believing that he had an 11-year-old daughter that he was hiding just to make Lamar look like an absolute fool in this supposed gotcha moment. And while if this was true, this would completely alter everything. When we look at the evidence and everything we know so far, this makes absolutely zero sense, and let me tell you why. First off, Drake's saying that Kendrick is getting his stories from clowns, and then contradicting himself by saying that he and his team gave him the story just makes no sense already.
No, it makes perfect sense. He said he got his information from clowns. Yeah, OVO, clowns. Point blank, period.
But beyond these lines just conflicting with one another, Drake's knee-jerk reaction to Kendrick saying that he had a daughter was to post an Instagram story laughing about it, and if it were the truth that Kendrick was set up, if Drake was the true mastermind that he said he is, he would either have the receipts to show that they got Kendrick, or he would have had a song ready to explain this entire thing off the bat. But he doesn't, and after Drake fans on social media were running with this theory in a way to seemingly cope with Meet the Grams, in all honesty, it seems like Drake just ripped this from what everybody else was saying, because with no evidence at all and the fact that Drake did not have this response right in the chamber, when you do a little thinking and wonder why Drake would let all of this bad press run around his name for days, I think anyone can spot out that this is a bold-faced lie. And beyond this, he says that the items that were stolen off him that Kendrick posted were also a part of this elaborate setup and that they were a part of some massive joke. And this just makes things seem even more ridiculous. Drake harps on the fact that there was this joke and this setup, yet does not explain what any of it meant or what it was. So overall, while Drake is trying to sell us the idea that this was his grand plan all along, after the guy made an entire short film for his Family Matters music video and didn't decide to document any of these parts that would have seemingly supported any of this, just shows that either Drake is incredibly unintelligent or that he is just the biggest liar out right now. And you know what?
Do y'all think this is them bringing Kendrick back to the light? Do y'all think it's a promo like what he's doing with Sexy Red?
Maybe Drake is just a fool because as this track goes on, he tries to have another massive gotcha moment on Kendrick as he addresses the major allegations about being really creepy around girls. As he wrote these allegations is Kendrick's pain by saying that the reason Lamar is running around with these allegations is because he himself was a victim of the same thing when he was a child, which already trying to utilize somebody and horrible thing to do. But beyond even this, the song Mother I Sober is not about Kendrick being a victim, but it's actually about Lamar's own mother, whose pain and experience made her think that the same horror she went through, her son also did. So when you understand this as well, it makes Drake's claims about Kendrick not checking facts and fully understanding things feel even more half-baked, because when you boil it down, everything Drake has said so far on this track is either so far-fetched without any evidence, or he's just completely wrong about what's supposed to be the framework that supports this very track, and somehow making things even worse than all this. The other main thing Drake does to address the really bad allegations about him and girls is to say that he predicted that this was the angle Kendrick was going to take, which first off, is that supposed to be some sort of flex that the image you've put out over the years would let somebody even come at you for this and continuing to just plummet from here? In defense of himself, Drake says that he is too famous to be the things that Kendrick has suggested, which again, there's just been so many times in this beef where Drake
Take that, take that.
is saying things that don't make any sense or line up with anything else that happens in the reality the rest of us live in, because as we have seen over the years, especially recently, a lot of the most famous and rich people in the world have been exposed of the thing that you are defending yourself from. So to try to shut
Just said it.
by saying that he is only messing with girls like his wife, Whitney, and not Millie Bobby Brown, and wait. Kendrick never said anything about Millie Bobby Brown, so once again, Drake is really just destroying himself.
Millie Vanilli Bobby Brown. That's a hell of a name.
Himself here at this point, it is truly at that level. Now, Drake also puts out again the same accusations that he did on Family Matters, which is a good tactic to make Kendrick address them directly, but with so many more straight out awful lines like the B sharp bar that is trying to clap back at Kendrick's A minor line and just misses the point entirely. All in all, it just makes this track harder and harder to listen to, and as towards the end, it pretty much looks like Drake is fully treading back on Kendrick and waving the white flag by saying that he is done with this. While Drake may be trying to gaslight people into saying that he had a genuine plan, humiliated Kendrick, defended his honor, and now is above all this, in actuality, when you read this track and all of its core ideas for what they are, it really just seems like Drake put out a PR song that is trying to mitigate the damage that Kendrick has created around his name and overall, even if the hip-hop community and a lot of other people will now see Drake in a different way forever. At least his own fans will still believe that Drake has played everything in this beef right and that he is walking out unscathed. So overall, despite the Hard Part 6 being a good sounding song aesthetically, when you break down this attack plan and pretty much see how this is a glorified PR statement that the internet wrote to defend Drake, I don't even know how somebody who showed that he was so battle ready in the beginning of this beef thought that this was a good idea too. So rushed, and from the inconsistent writing to the things Drake is saying, you can see that
Inconsistent writing. There's probably a reason for that. It's probably more than one person that helped write it. I feel like Drake be having dudes in the studio and he just take bits and pieces of what everybody writes or says or refers. This whole thing, this video is very true. He bit more than he could chew. Or do they say you bite off more than you can swallow? Pause. No diddy. Let me know your thoughts. I'm out. Yo, 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 we are back. Thanks for being here, all that good stuff. Hope everybody having a good day, all that good stuff, and all of that. Anyway, Kendrick, he has a cell phone company, or a cell phone or something. And it's just funny that the negative stuff can get all the press, but something positive is nothing. Now, I knew about this about a year ago. I didn't speak on it either. Nobody did, really. But we're talking about it today. Being that everything's going on, and yeah, you know how society is. Anyway, rappers and other entertainers reducing distractions and pursuing otherwise outdated, some might say nostalgic, modes of living. Now, they're talking about Jay-Z steals like beepers and flip phones. And yeah, so This phone, I'm pretty sure there's no type of things going on like the new phones. The tracking and stuff like that. It doesn't take apps. It's just simplicity at its finest. Yeah, just minimal. Let's see, what makes this cooler than the iPhone or whatever Apple dropped recently? The draw here is that as far as modern phones go, it isn't very smart. The Light Phone 2 is a premium minimum phone design built with the essential utility of our modern smartphones without distractions. Yeah, it's just a phone, no extras. Text messages, yes. No images. You can get an alarm on it, but other than that, it's a wrap. I want to go here now. We're going to talk about Tisa and this whole little thing that's going on. Let's see, real quick before I get started. Y'all get to see what I do a little bit. Let's see, real quick. And for all the people that like to talk shit about the music or overlays, it's certain purposes, platform purposes. So shut the hell up. Let's get it. Um, yeah, Drake. Yeah, you'll get the point. Let's get it.
It was good seeing you.
Hey, what's up, guys? How y'all doing today? Well, if you are Drake, you are not done embarrassing yourself. Y'all, first of all, Drake put out the weakest response back to a diss after literally Kendrick Lamar wiped the floor with a what, right? Why would you give a response back on Sunday night, which is Cinco de Mayo? Don't you know we busy whopping it up with guacs?
Speaking of that, people go harder for Cinco de Mayo than Black History Month. Make that shit make sense.
Moly, margaritas. On top of that, I know everybody on Crenshaw was playing Kendrick's They Not Like Us
I knew she was from Cali.
on blast. But let's actually get into this, all right? The one Mr. Drake actually opened his mouth and said, okay, and this is very important, if Hopper head culture appropriator, what do you think his, because baby, we have pulled up the receipts that not only does it look like Kendrick was telling the truth about the 11-year-old daughter, baby, I ask you, this baby looked more like him than Adonis do. And that's hard to do. I will say one thing, right? You can tell the baby's melanated because the baby looks like Drake would have looked if Drake had a jawline before Dr. Miami went to work and turned him into a fake Habibi. Anyway, y'all, let's get into this because Drake, you always asking for things you don't want. You told Kendrick to respond. Kendrick just literally, and Mustard on the Beat, killed your career. And now you asking us to do an APB on any unclaimed kids, baby, asking you shall receive, like Max said. Why is he staying like this? Listen, again, remember when somebody said, why is Drake saying stuff like this? If he fed him the info instead of destroying him that night. But you know, let me pull up an old interview and then we gonna pull up these receipts because, baby, you know your girl got pictures. Let's go. Let's go. It's more like Drake than Adonis. K Money said, y'all, look, this woman was awarded $350K in an SA case against Drake. But look at her son. Lila Lace is her name. Let's get into this. She got an interview.
How sure are you that you're pregnant by Drake and not somebody else?
This is 2017-18.
Let me tell you something.
Now listen, somebody on Twitter pulled this up. This is in 2018, 2017, 2018. This is after she.
Mhm.
I have a child. Okay.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
a mother already.
Okay.
Okay. I know who I sleep with unprotected. Period.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it's 100% sure he knows it. So at the end of the day, I'ma just leave it as that. You know.
I do want to say one thing. If Kendrick is right and Drake is literally trying to repopulate the world, like this is Noah's Ark, I hope people are being very careful when they let Drake touch them, because I don't know at this point. Let's keep going.
And when you approached him about it, because you told him you were pregnant,
Right.
what was his response to that information?
What?
He pretty much was just like, "Oh, what's wrong?" And then I told him, and then he pretty much was like, "I'm gonna call you back." And the phone.
That boy be ghosting these hoes.
Did it stop?
Now, Drake did the same thing when she said that she was with child. Only Drake tried to pressure her to make sure.
Y'all heard what I just said. He be pressuring these hoes.
Until like he can't deny it. He denied Adonis a bunch, even after Pusha T said something. So don't listen to Drake. He is a known liar. Let's keep going.
Before you.
Okay, you guys, this little boy looked more like Drake than Adonis. There's more though. There is more.
Interesting.
This is the little boy. This little boy looked more like Drake than Drake looked like Drake. This is the little boy also. This is also off of the mama's Instagram. He is starring in.
Jeez, that's crazy. Degrassi Drake.
King. Yo, tell me that's not Drake, but a better looking version of Drake. But he's a plastic surgeon and said, can you give me the jawline? Can you give me? Baby, Drake also said, nah, hold on. Can someone find my hidden daughter, please? Again, why does man keep asking for the work if he's not ready for it? Hold on. He wants somebody to find his daughter, baby. We will. 15 article that Drake may have a child. It was all over the blogs. Proof. Drake also agreed to pay this woman $15,000 in child support a month. Say what you want, but back then Radar Online was in their bag and got stuff. They said baby daddy Drake, Rihanna's ex, is the father of a 2-year-old. A bombshell report claims. Oh baby, it's not over. Nightclub. According to all the gossip tabloids, she's filed legal papers in which she said she notified Drake on Tuesday. Again, this is back in 2015. And he agreed to take a paternity test. The court papers are said to state that the rapper is voluntarily paying her $15,000 a month in child support until paternity can be established. Again, this unnamed baby girl paternity test, $15,000 a month. It was all over. Today or tomorrow, we can put them on the back end. I need an editor, but at the end of the day, is Drake quitting today, tomorrow? I need to know, because at this point, baby,
it's over for bro. What do y'all think? What I learned from this is, don't be so conniving. Don't try to hide so much, but most of all, don't invite people to tarnish your character and pull up receipts. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Yeah, all that.